everyone, welcome to another video review. This is the Magic Square MS-05 Night Tracer, their version of a masterpiece Onslaught. You can see him there in front of his box. We'll go ahead and put him off the side real quick and take a look at that box, which is very large. You can see, very large box. You got the Magic Square logo and a nice bit of artwork of Night Tracer, ages 16 plus, because not for children. And down here you got Magic Square MS-05, you got the logos and warning, choking hazard, and changes from military transport vehicle to robot and back. And on the top you have, hey, look, that artwork, some artwork again, Magic Square, and on this side you have, you know, Magic Square, Night Tracer, and a little bit of, hey, look, late G2, G1 thing, and hey, the same thing on this side, although with an outline of the truck mode right there. On the bottom here you have some warning stuff, including, again, not for not for under 16, and on the back you have a nice bit of, you know, they got the tech specs, big barcode, and a big old, you know, picture of, you know, Night Tracer in the sunset, I guess, or the sunlight, or the dawn. I don't know, sunrise, sunset, whatever, doesn't matter. Included in the box, of course, you have the instructions, which are okay. They're Magic Square instructions, which means there's kind of like some not so great angles and stuff, and it's really easy to just kind of gloss wait, just kind of miss stuff on the way through. And you also have the collector's card, which, you know, has a nice, again, the artwork again right here, nice and plasticky, and on the back you have the tech specs again and all that stuff. So there you go. So Night Tracer. First thing is, this thing is a dust magnet. Like, holy crap! I don't know what it is about this plastic, but it's like got a static charge or something, and I cannot. I touch it. I leave it alone. I turn around. There's like little white spots all over it. Like, I just do that, and there's white spots everywhere. It's like, it's ridiculous. This thing, like, grabs everything. This didn't tap together, peg together fully. Yeah, those issues. Yeah, regardless. Yeah. Otherwise, other than the whole, you know, dust magnet thing, it's actually pretty good looking. You got the, you know, it's very much the dark blue with the bits of olive green all over. You got the kind of gunmetal hubcaps. Blacked out windows. Hey, look, there's the camo pattern on the hood. It's there. It's kind of weird texture too. There's the grill. Hey, look, headlights this time. Actual work, you know, well, not working, but actual headlights. Yeah, got all that stuff. On the back, you have some, you know, painted taillights, although in yellow. You got some ridging right here. I guess detailing out the, of course, the gun, the turret. Which the turret, of course, you can extend the, you know, unextend the barrels. Right there, you can, you know, rotate it. You can collapse it a little bit. You know, raise it up, collapse it, all that stuff you can do, no problem. And there you go. Yeah, it's pretty straightforward and it rolls pretty decently. Though, and if you transform it, sometimes it will have yeah, sometimes you have that, which is if you push down too hard, the wheel will just, because of how it transforms, the wheel will just collapse. Yeah. Only thing is, on mine, it just kind of has a tendency to kind of bow a bit, and it might be just I have something slightly misaligned, but it's kind of difficult to get it perfectly aligned. Also, you have the gun, which you can peg it in, like a couple spots you have right here, for example. You can peg it in there, or you can peg it in back here, like they show in the pictures, although that's very loose. Whatever you want, right there, and there you go. Again, yeah, just, yeah, if you shed hair on this thing, it's going to stick to it. If you have anything on your hands, it's going to stick to it. It's just really bad about that. So, yeah, it's a pretty solid vehicle, just kind of weird in that, again, this is going to be a constant thing with the plastic, just being a dust magnet. But yeah, on top of that, mine has a tendency to slightly bow, but not too bad. You got to be careful about these wheels collapsing if you're, well, but overall, it's pretty big and it looks good overall. So there you go. That's for some comparisons. Let's see, who should I compare it to first? Here's the MMC version of Onslaught, which is a bigger truck. You can see, actually right there, yeah, you can see it is overall a longer truck, although the gun box in this is bigger than that. You can see that too. The cab is slightly longer on this. It's lower to the ground, but yeah, slightly different proportions here. Also, these are plastic tires down to necessity versus this one having rubber tires, and you can also see that there's slightly different shades of blue. So there's that. Here's next to a smaller Legend scale counterpart from Magic Square. And you can see, again, this is the initial release. This is actually also the IDW release. How incorrect the original blue was. You very much see how incorrect the original blue was. Yeah. Yeah, the C release, if I remember correctly, the C release of this guy is pretty much closer to this shade of blue. So yeah, there's that. Got all that, and then of course, here he is with his teammates. There's Brawl / Heavy Gunner, and here's a Swindle Munitioner. The three of them so far. And again, scale is all over the place because that's just how it is with the Combaticons. Yeah, but they all have that same kind of... Yeah, something about this one in particular, just dust magnet. Don't know what it is. No matter what, I rub it off and more dust. I literally spent like 5 minutes beforehand dusting it off, only to discover, oh, nope, everything's right back on it. So, yeah, I'm not the only person. Apparently, a lot of people complain that this thing's a bit of a dust magnet. So be careful with that. So, yeah, that's vehicle mode. Pretty good overall. I mean, it's very cartoony, so it's kind of basic, but, you know, it works. So I'm going to get this guy transformed into robot mode, and we'll keep talking about it from there. Yep, robot mode here. Yes, it is, well, it sure does look like Onslaught, the cartoon version. Yeah, you can see getting a little close in here. You see, he's got his nice orange visor thing and like his little mouth plate. Got a big old backpack. It's a little larger than it's technically supposed to be considering cartoon, but you know, physics are a thing in the real life. So hey, you got a little fake, you know, fake wheels on the inside. You can see all those, you know, right there. Look out, this thing is not. There we go. That's better. And you got the pretty much just blue. You got up down here. You got the kind of the weird gray, I guess, implied headlights. I'm not sure. The green with the green, I guess, briefs. You got the black here with the bit of green on the kneecaps right there. You got the wheels right there on the on the shins. More black and blue back here. You guys, again, you can see the size of the backpack. It's not too bad, all things considered. And yeah, generally it looks pretty darn good. It's good weight too. It's not super heavy, but it's, you know, decent weight in its own right. Overall, so yeah, it's not bad. Well, there's a couple things which people have complained about with this one. Again, for me personally, again, the dust magnet, which yeah, just I clean it off and it immediately there's already crap on it again. I've literally watched something go zoop. I watched a stray hair kind of float around, go like that. So yeah, it's something about the plastic is like almost it has a static build to it. So I'm not sure if that's going to wear off over time or what. But yeah, generally looks really good. Looks like cartoon Onslaught. Posability is also pretty darn good too. You got the heads can go left and right and go up and down. There's a separate hinge for that, and there's actually waggle too. There's like a whole like thing inside the neck here, so there's a good amount of posability there. I was kind of shocked when I saw that. I was like, oh, it's a double hinge. Like, oh no, wait, there is waggle, so that's pretty cool. Right here, the shoulder, you do a full 360. You got outward on this ratcheted joint right here, and on this joint right here, which is just friction. There's a bicep swivel right here, right above the elbow. You got this much curl right there at the elbow, which is really nice as well. Coming to the hands, go close right here. See, there's a wrist swivel right here. There's also a hinge right there. And each finger is, much like Brawl's, individually articulated. You got the ball jointed thumb right there at the base. You got that right there. You can swivel and hinge right there. There's a hinge right here at that point on the thumb. Each finger has a hinge at the base and a hinge mid-knuckle. So you got, you know, that. And of course, you can see there's actually, I think it's a ball joint at the base. So you can also splay them quite a bit. So, yep, pretty darn good posability at the hands as well. At the waist, you can see there's a ratcheted waist swivel. The backpack gets a little in the way, but then of course you can just use the ab crunch, which there's a lot of ab crunch, and then hey, look, with the ab crunch now you have an unhindered waist. Hey, what do you know? Very similar to the smaller one. You have the hip skirt. You have to kind of get this hip skirt out of the way if you want to fully use stuff at the hips, because yeah, the hip skirts, all those can get out of the way, and this kind of goes with the leg. So you have forward. You can kind of hear a somewhat soft ratchet. Some people complain about apparently some of the ratchets just don't work very well on that part. Yeah, like this one on this side. It's a little softer. You can kind of hear it click going this way, but otherwise it's almost nothing. Okay. Outward is also a ratchet. You got that much outward right there. That. Do have a thigh swivel right here. Knees. Double jointed. Both ratcheted. People have complained about the knees as well, and the knees being kind of weak. I noticed the upper knee in particular is a little on the weak side. You can see that. He'll stand just fine, and then considering he's not like, you know, the MMC version actually has to be load bearing, it's not a huge problem, but it is easy for him to just kind of, once he starts going backwards, he just kind of keeps going backwards like that. See? So, you know, just be mindful of that. But it's not horrible, I think, but it might be more than some people are used to. I'm just knocking it over, kind of disproving myself immediately. But it's not horrible in my opinion. And if you're down here at the feet, you do have ankle tilt, and because you can kind of do that as well, and of course, which can do some weird stuff. You do have a toe joint right here as well. You can go up right there. Pretty much that's it. There's no down, not from the base anyway. There's a tab here, which on one side doesn't like to tab in unless you come in at a very specific angle. There you go. And the heel can go up as well, so if you need that for anything, but it can't go down. So, yeah. Good posability, just, yeah, the knees might be a little weak, depending on what you're trying to do. But for most of the time, I haven't had too much of a problem until just now where I'm, you know, doing this at arm's length with the camera here. But as for accessories, he does have two. Again, you saw one earlier, the gun. I'll bring up the other one later, but yeah, the gun. Flip the handle out right there, and there's a tab there, and then he has a couple slots in his hand. He goes, you know, peg it into the tab into the upper slot, and it's actually very secure. Like, it's not going to come out even with the hands open, but yeah, gonna have to, like, yeah, move the thumb out a little bit. Yeah, you can hold his gun pretty securely, which is pretty nice. Yeah. So yeah, overall, really nice robot mode, I think. He's just a really good looking robot mode. The only thing, yeah, I guess I don't know if you noticed, but yeah, I don't know what it is, but there's definitely a couple blemishes here. There was, you might have saw, I think, which arm was it? One of the arms, yeah, and like inside here, there was like some nasty blemishes on the plastic there too. There's some weird blemishes. The other thing I almost forgot to mention this because it's been a bit. Sprue marks. Some people complain about sprue marks on this thing, namely on the guns. You can see one of them on the gun right there. You can see that. It's a sprue mark right there. Mine's one of the better examples, but yeah, some of them are pretty bad. Again, right there, you can see it a little bit. Yeah. Some people complain about on this gun. You can see, yeah, it's on the actual handgun. You can see right there is a bit of a sprue mark. Mine's not as bad. I've seen like actual people like straight up like plastic coming off of that. And right here around the guns, right here in this particular like opening for the guns, like you could see like some of the remnants. I had to chop a whole bunch of excess plastic off of there because there was a lot. There's like a big old line of plastic just right there. So yeah, he's definitely got some weirdness. I don't know what's going on there, but yeah, Magic Square, I'm not sure if they got sloppy or what, but they some pretty bad sprue marks around, some sprue weirdness going on. I'm not sure what that's about, but yeah, that's one of the worst. That's one of the worst things. But I haven't seen too Yeah, it's not horrible. I was able to deal with it pretty quickly, but, you know, just something to be aware of. There are definitely some sprue mark issues there, too. But, real quick comparisons. Getting him back here, where you can see really, let's see. I didn't bring him out in, alt mode, because I didn't really need to go, but here's, MP36 Megatron. He's kind of taller than him. Just a smidge taller. Just a smidge, which is interesting. MP52 Starscream, quite a bit taller than him. What's that? People kind of prefer slightly too large over MP Seeker. Here's this is Deformation Space's Thundercracker, so give an idea there. Here's the MMC Onslaught, which is even bigger, but also proportions are a little different. You can see, proportions are. There you go. The proportions are a bit different. Yeah, you can see, yeah, the whole thing is the extra long torso a lot of people don't like, but yeah, he is definitely still bigger than him. So, there's that. Also has a bigger gun. Even his, even the non-add-on kit gun is bigger than this one, and also his, cannons are longer and shinier. So, there you go on that. And of course, here he is with his teammates so far. Heavy gunner, munitioner. Right there. The group so far. Munitioner is leaning forward for some reason. There we go. And yeah. There's the group so far. Looking pretty good. We're just waiting on the other two, which apparently is going to be, they claim they're going to be fast tracking those basically by like the end of June or something. So, wow, we're going to be pretty close to the end here pretty quick, huh? So, that's robot mode. That's the comparisons and everything. I'm going to go ahead and get them into combined mode real quick and finish this off, shall we? And yeah, it's a box. it's a fold them into a box with some guns sticking out, which yeah, one's just kind of low. There we go. Yeah, this box, he folds up in a box, and eventually, you know, with the Legends version, there's going to be a thing that comes over top of him, and then you're going to connect. Also, you're going to connect the pants. You can see there's a rail there. You connect the pants to that, and so on and so forth. He just kind of folds up. The one thing is, well, definitely a big improvement over the Legends version is this bit right here. This is all covered up. Look, you don't see anything back here. Now they actually cover, well, got mostly covered up. Unfortunately, the hands are still very visible right there. But other than that, yeah, it actually is. It actually covered up a little bit better this time. The only other thing is this right here. They're supposed to tab in right here. These do not tab in super well to the arm. The legs and arms do not tab together super well. So, and the arms don't tab together anymore either, which is, I find, unusual. There's no tabs or slots there anymore for the arms. So, yeah, unfortunately, basically, a lot of this stuff just kind of, you know, moving around loosely up there. So that's a little unfortunate. Another thing, of course, yeah, he comes with the one other accessory, which is the chest piece, which you can't actually attach yet because you have to wait for the actual full torso piece. But, you know, it's going to go there, and it gives you kind of somewhat of an idea how big it's going to be in the end because, yeah, it'll be pretty big. This is of course, obviously, again, this is the toy style chest. They're going to, again, for the cartoon style Bruticus, they have a whole add-on kit for that, so that's going to be a whole thing. I may or may not get that just for the sake of reviewing it. Yeah, so it's just a box. I mean, there's really not much to say. It's just a folded up robot waiting for his frameworks to finish the torso, which one came with the actual torso piece? Was it? It was Vortex, wasn't it? Yeah, Vortex was the one that came with the upper torso, and yeah, Blastoff came with the legs, if I recall correctly. But yeah, I think Vortex will come first, so we'll see how that works out. But yeah, it's basically a box. We can't sit up very well without, you know, any support, so I just flop over. But yeah, some comparison real quick. Again, yes, because I already started it with the other one, so as weird as it is, this is really going to really highlight the difference between the two sets, I think. But there's MMC's torso mode for Onslaught, and here's, yeah, you can see the difference in philosophies here. You can really see the difference in philosophies between the two sets, because, yeah, I mean, that's pretty much a complete torso with hips and waist and everything. This is just a box that folds up into another piece. And, yeah, again, I've always said I prefer MMC's approach, personally, but, you know, I want another Bruticus, so why not? But yeah, this is going to be bigger overall, but yeah, it's just kind of interesting. On top of that, weirdly enough, despite the fact this, you know, it just folds up into it, what's going to be a whole thing that wraps around it, this is a simpler transformation, which is interesting to me. This is, yeah, there's a lot more complication here in this, despite the fact it's turning into a box. So, yeah. There we go on that. And a comparison between the this and the Legends version, which, yeah, you can see bit of a difference here. Just well, the cannons, you can see the cannons are differently shaped, but the general gist of it is pretty much remains the same, you know. The other thing, yeah, but you see back here on the back here, yeah, you can see this is where, yeah, the Masterpiece version kind of shines a bit because it has a chance to actually yeah, the Masterpiece version shines a bit because it has a chance to, you know, cover up a large chunk of the extra stuff. I mean, granted, the hands are still exposed, but it's a bit better overall. It's a bit cleaner in a backpack, as a backpack. So, yep. There you go on that. So that is MMC's Onslaught, or their Night Tracer. Overall, it's a pretty darn good figure. The biggest thing is just there's definitely a lot of weird little small problems, and which might add up and kind of discourage a lot of people. Namely, it's weirdly a dust magnet. There's a lot of excess sprue marks and a plastic I had to snip off. The knee joints are kind of weird. The ratchets are a little weaker than a lot of people like. I personally am not too. I don't mind them so much, but it's gonna bug a lot of people. And between this and the Legends version, it's got a weird trade-off. Like, I would find, like, in many ways, this is easier to transform the Legends version just because it's larger, so it's easier to manipulate. But in some ways, and also on top of the Legends version, has even though it has the whole nylon plastic thing, some of that, it kind of bites it for the smaller one, just because now all stuff's flexing, so it won't tab together instead of tabbing together, it just flexes around, you know. This is pretty dead solid overall. The other thing is, I find some of the parts really like the backpack. If you don't have it perfectly lined up, it will just fight you to tab in. And it's overall really good. It's just, yeah, it's just got a lot of small things that might, upset some people. There's a lot of little things. He's pretty good size. You saw he's taller than the Masterpiece Megatron, but he's not super heavy. He's got a bit of weight to him, but he's not super heavy because I don't think there's really any diecast in this at all. I think there's like no diecast. So I guess Boss Plaza was concerned about, you know, weight of the overall combiner. But because Magic Square hasn't done an MP combiner yet, so it's kind of a first foray. Then they probably don't want to risk. Oh no, it's too heavy. But yeah, generally it's a pretty solid. I think it's a good toy. Just be ready with it, like a something to brush the dust off constantly, I guess, until possibly whatever static charge it has wears off. Yeah, I would very much recommend it. It's $100 at this point. It's $165 at this point, mind you. That might not last much longer, considering everything. But yeah, for the price and the price, the transformation, the robot, everything, it comes together pretty well. I think it's worth the price you're paying for it. Considering, well, minus any additional charges, the blast off and the vortex should be some of the neighborhood of the same price as Swindle and Brawl. Yeah, it's gonna be, I think this is gonna be overall the most expensive. I think it's my favorite to transform. You just got those little problems. I think he's my favorite so far, just because it's a transformation so far. And I think it's largely the same with the smaller ones too. So, yeah, he's pretty good. He's pretty darn good, and I think if you're already kind of in the set, you're just kind of curious about getting a Masterpiece Bruticus. This is not a bad thing, unless like me, prefer the all-in-one thing. But I'm just getting it because it's another Bruticus. I'm going to try to get those other Brutici as well. So, there you go. I hope you found this review informative and entertaining. I hope you like, comment, subscribe. Check out my social medias down in the description and at the end of the video. Check out my coffee and my Patreon. And I shall see you next time with another video review.